Welcome to the Tipsy Guest Podcast. I am your host, Marco Buenrostro, and every week I'm here with the top industry experts, amazing clients, and all my vendor BFFs to bring you the best tips, advice, and juicy behind-the-scenes stories to make wedding and event planning a breeze. So grab your favorite drink and let's get this party started! Hey guys, welcome back to the Tipsy Guest. I am Marco, your host, and today I have Maddie and Hallie from Moments by Maddie. Hello, ladies. How are you guys?
We're good. We're so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh. So I know I haven't had a chance, I think, to actually work with you personally, but I know we've been following each other on social media for a very long time.
Yes, definitely.
And I absolutely love everything that you do. So talk to me. Let our listeners know who you are, what you do, how long you've been in business. Give us the whole 411.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Maddie with Moments by Maddie. I am the owner, and this is Hallie, and she is she's the owner of Socials by Hallie. I am a wedding planner. I have a wedding planning business, obviously, and Hallie does my social media for me, and she also offers content creation for me. So we partner really well together. We've been doing it. She's been on board with me for a little over a year, but this is actually Moments by Maddie's 3-year anniversary this week. So happy birthday to Moments.
I love it. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, 3 years ago, I just was like, you know what? I could do this. So I just randomly started, and it was just me by myself for a little bit. And then we've grown tremendously, and I have about 5 coordinators on my staff now. And we also offer event staffing and bartending. So altogether, I probably have about 20 people on my staff. So
in 3 years?
In 3 years, we're making it happen.
I like that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And I knew you had a professional doing your social media because it's on point.
Thank you. Yep. Hallie's my girl.
I love it. So today we're going to be talking about wedding trends because, times change on a daily basis. Things are popping up on social media like crazy, and then by the time, at least for me, sometimes I'm really bad with social media, so by the time I'm trying to jump on a trend, it's already dead, and so I'm like, oh my goodness, I missed it.
That's me on TikTok. I send her stuff and she's like, yeah, I saw that a month ago. My bad.
So let's see. So what are some of the trends that you're seeing this year for weddings that are like that you see everyone doing?
I would honestly say that my favorite trend that I'm seeing right now is very much like the farmer market vibe. Like everybody's wanting everything to be very natural, organic. Like they're wanting like the ruche tablecloths. They want all the tablecloths to be different textures. They want the rooted fruit and the rooted vegetables as centerpieces. They don't want so much florals. And if they do want florals, they want it to just be a minimal style along with like rooted elements. And so that's been my favorite to see so far. I think it's actually going to carry out pretty far because it kind of timeless for the most part if it's done in a tasteful manner. But honestly, that's probably one of my favorites right now.
I did a wedding a few weeks ago, and that's exactly what they had for their centerpieces. It was so colorful, but not in a very like bright rainbowish way.
We actually had we went to a vendor event or whatnot at the Prospect House in Austin, and the centerpieces there and everything were like pieces of cabbage and like all these random pieces of
it looks really cool, right?
And lettuce, and we were like, oh, that's interesting, but the more we looked at it, we're like, oh, this is actually really nice.
Like it's so unique and different, and it's just like a wow piece. Like when you see it, you're like, I didn't think cabbage would look this good.
Right? No, I literally thought that. I was like, I don't know about this one. But then as I sat there, I was like, no, I actually like it. My sister's getting married in June and her wedding won't have that. But I was kind of trying to push her towards it. I was like, it would be kind of cute. And she's like, no, that's not my vibe. And I was like, okay, well, it needs to be somebody's vibe because I'm obsessed with it.
I feel like that would be my vibe. Like I think that if I was ever to get married, I feel like I would pick a fall wedding and use stuff like that for the decor throughout the entire venue, with the florals and then the centerpieces and then just like
I wonder if it would make the wedding cheaper since we're just pulling it out of the ground.
Out of the grocery store.
Yeah, like
Let me just go to
pieces.
HEB and grab my centerpieces, my carrots with roots on them.
That's so funny, but yeah, some people try to. We have our budget friendly.
We love our budget friendly queens.
Yeah.
We love them all.
Yeah.
So when it comes to trends, do you think there's anything out there that has been trending for a while and that you think it's still going to stay, current for 2025?
Honestly, like personal touches have become extremely important to a lot of brides and a lot of grooms. And not that it wasn't popular before, but I don't think it was as of a thing, because before you would have brides and grooms that were just wanting the very structured wedding. They wanted traditional. Thank you. They wanted the ceremony, the cocktail hour, the reception, and then call it a day. Nothing else out of the ordinary. But nowadays, people are wanting to add tons of personal touches. Like they have pictures of their past relatives or grandparents or loved ones in the front row, but then they have a special dedication for them. Or they have, I remember one bride had a piece of her grandmother's favorite t-shirt that she had cut, and it was tied around her bouquet.
Wow.
That was
so
beautiful.
cute.
I loved that. We even had a bride who not only had a photo of I think it was her grandfather in the front row. They also did like a special like ceremony just for him because he was from I think he was from Kansas City. So he was a big Chiefs fan. So they incorporated the Chiefs in the ceremony or something to honor him. And I really loved that. So I think that'll continue because everybody's trying to have their wedding become a very personalized experience. And so I think that'll continue to follow.
And I think the personal touches will kind of change. So I think that there's always going to be some kind of personal touch. And I think that maybe things like stir sticks and cocktail napkins used to be really popular. And now other personal touches are becoming popular throughout. So people are customizing their table numbers or customizing their signage to match their invitations. And they're doing really cute stuff on their invitations, or they're doing custom dissolvable toppers on their drinks, or just other really cute customizable personal things. So I think that some kind of personalization is going to stay throughout the years, but I think that it will ebb and flow depending on what the trends are.
I love it when they incorporate the sitting chart into the design of the weddings. Like
that was on my list of my trends.
I have seen some that are so unique, so cool. I did a wedding a few months ago where it was almost like a custom bookshelf. I can't remember. I mean, I saw it from where I was set up with the photo booth. The what?
Did it have books on it?
It did. So this is.
I think I saw what you're talking about.
So this is, and I need to ask the wedding planner that we did the wedding for that day, because I did see people walking around with books.
Oh.
So I'm not really sure if each
they checked
guest,
them out.
I'm not sure if each guest grabbed a book and that was their seed
and their favorite,
and maybe their favorite book. Maybe it was a book with photos of the couple. Like, I'm not really sure what it was. I never really asked the wedding planner. But that's something that I'm going to check in with her, because I thought that was so unique.
Yes.
At first, when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's just for show. It's a cool,
design,
personalized bookshelf. But then when I saw people walking around with the actual books, I was like, oh my God, that is so cool.
Very interactive. And that's another trend that I'm obsessed with, is like guest interaction. So it's no longer, the guests come, they have their meal, they clap for the bride and groom, and then they leave. They're wanting their guests to walk away and be like, man, I was wanting more from that wedding, because you're already spending so much money. You might as well make it
fun,
as much fun as possible. Yeah. So we've seen a good friend of ours owns a charcuterie grazing company, and so she makes really cool walls, and she stuffs all the charcuterie in these champagne coupes, and so guests have to go and grab one, and then they're walking around with them, and so that's pretty interactive. We even have a good vendor friend that does martini cups and puts cake in them. So
drop their name. We want to make sure
Cake Teeny is
Cake Teeny by Jaina and Joey. They do cake teenies, basically. So you walk up and you choose what flavor you want, what topping you want, what filling you want, and they serve it to you in a martini glass. It's so cute.
Yeah. I think I've seen him.
Exactly
I think I did an open house, and he was set up right next to me. It was such a cool concept.
So good.
It tastes so good.
We're having them at my sister's wedding in June, and oh my gosh, we tasted all the cakes, and oh my gosh, I was like, oh my god, I need all of these.
I love it. And who's the vendor for the charcuterie?
Sweet Fig and Honey. Her name's Lindsay. Yes, she is our girl.
We wanna make sure that we throw information out there for our listeners.
Yeah, go give Sweet Fig and Honey some follows, because I just made some content for her too. So.
Ooh, look at you.
We're trying over here, making the world go round.
I love it. So, and then again, when it comes to trends, are there any things out there that you're like over? I'm like, just let it go. Don't do that anymore.
There's so many, but I
Hallie
feel
is
like
the queen of telling me not to do them.
there are so many things that grind my gears, let me tell you. But
I want to hear it all.
Oh, what do I say without making it so not great?
Hey, this is a tipsy guest. We like to talk about other people here.
Marco
We like drama.
Everybody loves a good session of gossip.
Yeah, talk to me. Tell me what you hate out there.
So I don't want to say that I hate, because hate's a strong word. I would say that there's a lot of brides that like different styled weddings. And while this goes along with trends, while the trendy thing right now is something very extravagant, elegant, beautiful, grand, is very much a trend right now, there's also minimalistic weddings that are trending, which are also super beautiful. And then you still have, especially because we're in Texas and in San Antonio and all these places, rustic weddings are still very popular, because that's just kind of how we grew up. We grew up knowing that we were going to get married, in a rustic setting.
Down the road in the barn.
Down the road in the barn. And that's just kind of what we've accustomed to. And a lot of vendors who have built beautiful venues, they are very catering to that kind of couple that wants that sort of rustic wedding. I personally, when I get married, probably won't have a rustic wedding, and it's not my favorite, but I do think it can be done very tastefully and beautifully. And we do have a lot of brides that are, rustic brides. And
I had a rustic wedding, and it was fun and gorgeous.
She did. And let me tell you, I was giving lots of notes, and she was like, well, I loved it. And I was like, well, to each their own, I guess. But I would probably say rustic weddings are kind of on their way out, but we're in San Antonio.
There's always a place for them.
There's still lots and lots of them.
I did a wedding a few weeks ago where, so it was not necessarily rustic, but it was like Texas chic.
Yeah.
So they incorporated a lot of Texas elements and like central, San Antonio, Austin, the hill country. So something that they did that was so cute. So they had throughout the wedding, they had these disco cactus structures that looked really, really cool. And then talking about the seating chart earlier, so they had each chair or each setting had a jalapeno with the name of the person in it.
Oh, I've seen that. That's so cute.
It was the coolest thing ever. So
the place card.
Yeah.
With the jalapeno.
It was
I love a Texas chic, because I saw one that happened in Austin at, I forgot what place it was called, but it kind of looked like it was Round Top, but it's not. And it was just a big ranch area and whatever. And it looked super cool. And I was like, okay, I could get down with that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it's I mean, people like different things. I personally wouldn't do a rustic wedding either.
You look like a black tie guy.
Oh yeah. I want
That's me too.
I want black tie. I want chandeliers. I want like a moody vibe. Like,
hey, call me when you're ready. I'll help. All right.
We just booked a bride that's going to be getting married at Redberry Estate.
Love it.
And that's exactly what she's going for. Black tie, moody, elegant, romantic.
Lots of personal touches.
Lots of white roses. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is
yeah. I mean, I want my guest. I mean, I'm talking about my wedding, like if I'm actually going to have a wedding, but
hey, you never know. Never say never.
I met my husband, and 6 months later we were married. So
look at you. Yeah, no. So I want my wedding. I want everybody to wear black. Like that is, maybe I did a wedding once where everybody was wearing black or white. And it looked
Cool.
really, really cool.
I think then you got to throw in some floral color though. So you got to have some color. It can't be all black.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, like the people wearing black for sure, but then the decor, like I would love to maybe like a hunter green, like a burgundy, like a goldish.
Okay, let's get you married.
Look at me planning my wedding.
You definitely need to do it in the fall because those are definitely fall colors.
I can't handle myself planning my wedding.
You have a significant other, or
I do.
Okay, so let's hop to it.
All right. Well, surprises are coming.
Significant other, you have to marry.
Oh my goodness,
Marco.
I can't even handle myself right now planning my bogus wedding here.
It'll be a good one.
No, but seriously, I think, and so when it comes to speaking of like going back to the now it's getting hot in here.
We're making you nervous.
No, but going really interviewing here,
yeah,
right? I feel like the roles have turned here. Now you're interviewing me. No, but seriously, when it comes to the trends, I guess now when it comes to the content creation.
Oh yeah.
So that is so popular right now.
Oh yeah, that's a trend itself.
So I guess walk me through the process of content creation, because of course something that most couples have is a videographer. So what I would say, I guess, what is the main difference other than, of course, the type of equipment that you use for the content creation? What is the main difference between a videographer and a content creator?
So I always tell brides, if they're interested in videography or content creation, I always say it's either going to be a great addition to your videographer or a great supplement to videography. If it's a great addition, I'm going to be there capturing all the behind the scenes. I'm going to get anything that you want. I'm going to get the TikToks that you want to make, like whatever it is, like I'm going to get it, and you're going to get thousands of videos delivered to you the day after your wedding. So,
but I will say it's not
everything.
just TikToks and
it's
like trendy
sweet
dances
moments. Like we just did
behind the scenes.
We just did a really sweet wedding at the Vidir in Wimberley, and their family was extremely, extremely religious, and I wouldn't consider myself super religious. However, just the connection of their family and everything was so precious. And really I captured this really intimate moment that I don't even think I was supposed to capture, because they didn't warn me they were doing it, but they were just in the bridal suite, and the mom and the groom's mom and all the bridesmaids and grandparents were praying over the bride and touching her, and they had a moment of silence for 5 minutes, and it was so I started crying. I was I barely know this bride. I only got to know her because we booked each other, but I was oh my gosh, this is so sweet. So it's just things like that I don't think a videographer is going to technically capture, because with a videographer, I think they're still very viable and they're still needed. But they're going to capture lots of things and then edit it down into one highlight video or maybe a couple highlight videos. Whereas with content, you are getting complete raw things from your day, the day after your event. So you get to go back with your family and just look over all those special moments. And then you're also going to get edited videos on top of that. And then you can edit the videos yourself on top of that for a fraction to what videography costs. So I just always tell brides, it's either a great addition to videography, and I think everybody should have it, or it's a really great supplement, whichever way you roll.
And I think, they're both really important on the wedding day, because I think the videography, I want to have that formal video that I can watch with my family in 10 years, they're probably not going to be watching the video on my Snapchat or my camera roll. But I think that in the short term, the next morning, I want to wake up and see all those behind the scene moments, and I want to have that little snippet to post on Instagram. And so I think that they're both really important and really cool to have. And
I have brides too that aren't really concerned with social media. They're just I just really want certain things captured, and I'm probably not going to post them, but I just like to have them, and I want them in a folder that I can go back and just only watch this one 20-second clip of me walking down the aisle, or I just want the 20-second clip of my niece and nephew carrying the rings, or whatever it may be. And so I think where the misconception comes is people are hiring content creators because they need people for their social media, which is not the case at all. I have tons and tons of brides that only hire content creation because they want an addition to videography, or they just want all those little special moments that they can go look back at without having to scroll through a longer video. So
that makes sense. And when you send the footage to them, how do you send that? Is it like a gallery? Is it a Dropbox folder?
So it's I send them through Dropbox or Google Drive. Dropbox for me lately has been a lot easier. But yeah, they get a whole Dropbox folder of everything in it. Honestly, I always say the day after, but if I have a moment, I kind of send them it the night of, just because it's kind of fun when you go back to wherever you are with your groom or bride or whatever, and then I send you a link to it, and you're like, oh.
So when it comes to, I guess, budgeting, for a wedding, we want to make sure our listeners know, and you don't have to be specific, but just an estimate. How much does it cost to hire a content creator? And then also, how long are you there for?
So through Moments, there's different packages. So we have 3 different packages. So they can either hire me for their entire day, and it's $1,000. And so they basically get me from right before they start to get dressed for the day. So right before the photographer takes their getting ready photos. And then I'm there till the very end, as soon as they walk out of the reception hall. And then we also have a package that includes just ceremony and reception only. Like, I'm there right when the ceremony begins, and I'm there just about when the reception ends. And then we also just have like a lower package below that. That's basically if you're just wanting me to just get content of you for the getting ready part, or if you just want me to get content of your ceremony, or if you just want me there for the reception. So it can mix and mingle between those 3.
Definitely give them options, and then they just go from there. I like that. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. So content creation, I mean, that's where everything is now. Everybody wants to be on social media. Everybody wants to just send messages to each other, like GIFs and
their ideas.
Exactly. Too. Like for example, like with me, like I go through my gallery on my phone, and I delete a lot of the stuff there because I know that I have it on like Instagram or I have it on rarely Facebook, but
hey, I like Facebook.
But yeah, so I feel like, like having those moments, like you said, like it's I feel like it is a completely different vibe from the videographer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like it should be, I feel like both options should be considered, because it's a complete different style of filming and like you said, you give the content right away.
Both options are great, and I think both options are kind of needed in this day and age. And I just think that whichever way you go, I just think both options are going to give you everything you want, rather than regretting like, oh, I wish I got a videographer, or oh, I wish I did have a content creator. It's like, well, just have both.
Yeah, definitely. All right, ladies. Well, it's time to wrap it up. Thank you so much for being with me today. This is the first episode where I have 2 guests at the same time.
We're a good team.
We're a duo. We're a package duo. We are with each other like all the time.
I like. So tell our listeners, where can they find you online, on social media? Like, tell them where to find you.
Definitely. So you can follow Moments by Maddie on Instagram. It's at momentsbymaddie.we, like weddings and events, momentsbymaddie.we. And my website's the same, momentsbymaddie.com. And then Hallie?
And then you can follow Socials by Hallie on Instagram to see some wedding content. But I also run Moments by Maddie's page. So anything that's on there is my work and our work together that she plans. So we're a package duo.
We are. We're a good team.
Awesome. And we'll definitely make sure to include your information on the show notes and the episode blog. Amazing. So that our listeners can go find you guys and hopefully book you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Book us, y'all.
Thank you so much again. And to our listeners, make sure you tell your BFFs about the podcast. Go run. Tell them. And if you have a favorite vendor that you want us to interview, make sure you send us an email, send us a DM. Go to our website and let us know who, and we'll definitely have them on the podcast next. Until next time, cheers. Thanks for listening to the Tipsy Guest podcast. If you know someone who could benefit from these tips, spread the love and share it with them. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Next round's on us. Same time, same place. Cheers. This podcast is brought to you by MVP Photo Booth, the #1 photo booth rental company in San Antonio, Austin, and Central Texas.